Hi, everybody, and we are back for the final part of tonight's lives. Very excited to read these. And so, if you don't know who we are the Society of Secretly Perfect Poets, is who I'm reading for tonight. And we're a group of poets that are joined together in a community who write to secret prompts. And we have several lives a week where we read off those prompts. And some of the times we write other stuff too. Um, we have an unlimited couplet train and couplet train of infinity in our uh, IG community. We have forums, we have improv poems that are in our chit chat. We have a very prolific group of poets. Hi, Tommy, welcome back. And so you never quite know what you're going to get. Welcome back, Overlord. And so what we're reading right now is some poems that have kind of fallen through the cracks. Hey, Ash. Ash has some poems that we'll be reading tonight. Um, Poems that in the last few weeks have somehow gotten lost in the clutter of figuring out the classroom stuff with forms, or that maybe come in at a last minute and we didn't get them worked into the curation that we had. So because maybe we didn't see them when we were on the live or not, things like that. And so we have a handful that we're going to read tonight, and they're all really amazing and kind of looking forward to it. So shall we get started? The first one that we are reading is by Ash in the room, um, and that is the nature underscore of Ash on Instagram. And I don't know how to pronounce this word. I never get it right. I call it the other poem or the other poem. Um, I think it is she had deed her. She had dead her. I don't remember how to say it. Where is Harry when I need my interpreter cat? But it is one of the Welsh forms, and that is what we will be reading tonight. Leslie says, dude, right? Yes, let's go with that. This is the dude poem. And so this is called Valley. Valley. Left trenches across, pages all but lost, crumpled up and tossed, but tongues still bleeds. Painful ricochet napped throughout the day, nothing they can say, ignoring needs. Gouge out both my eyes, something never dies, no words from the wise. I'll not buy seeds. No more hope for growth, beg for life, death, both. Refuse any oath, embrace old deeds. Hard sea, dude. Are y'all telling me to say it's a he hadooed her? I don't think that's what y'all are saying. I don't think that's what y'all are saying. Because I'm pretty sure I remember them spelling it out for me as dead. Ash says, good read, thanks. It's a gorgeous poem. And you can read so much through it. It can either be a personal valley, a personal low, or it could be a literal valley. I think both of personal lows in medical things, as well as like the valleys during a war, a land battle. It could easily be that as well, with your painful ricochets, naps throughout the day, nothing they can say, ignoring needs. But I know, I'm pretty sure that's not what it is. I think it's personal, but it is so exquisitely written, and I love the way that rhymes that you did use. I enjoy the metaphor, I'll not buy seeds, no more hope for growth. Uh, and ashes, yes, both true here. You can see that it's a gorgeous, that other poem, kind of poem. So thank you so much, Ash. And the next we have Hob the Poet, who in the forums, I went through the forum chat and basically pulled the forums we hadn't read. And this is a Thos, he says, a Thos. Oh no, that's right. Won't be reading this because Harry put all of his poems in archive, so I cannot read that. Tommy is Harding. Harry put his poems in archive while he is on his break. So with that in mind, I cannot read this poem, and I will have to read it in the future. Sorry, Harry, if you're watching. I'll read it in the future. And so that means next, instead, we have Bob Pallister, who is both on he is both on YouTube and on Instagram, and his name is Randomer Bob SXYZ. And if you want to read the sonnets, you must go to his YouTube channel where he voice acts them out. He voice acts an entire book out, and it's awesome. So you should read it. No one may enjoy his art, says Ash, right? No one. You may not see it. And this is a gorgeous, gorgeous Kittifer, I probably said that wrong, poem as well. I loved this when I read it. And it is a Welsh poem, a traditional Welsh variation on a 14-line sonnet. Randomer Bob SXYZ. And it is one of those poems for my sweetest friend. That trees for many decades stood there at the corner of the wood, but every spring it blossoms still to mark the end of winter's chill. Its mix of cream with blushing pink, refreshing for the eye to drink. Whatever months of storm and gale, it comes again without fail. Eternity cannot be held, and yes, one day it will be failed. But every spring before that comes, it blossoms, captured by the suns. Gold rays will bring joys to the end, just like your love, my sweetest friend. Is that not beautiful? It's blossom captured by the suns. Gold rays will bring joys to the end, just like your love, my sweetest friend. He uses that word that I can't, entanglement, in whatever that is. He uses that right there really, really gorgeously. Ash is giving all the hearts. Yes, Bob just writes these types of forms exquisitely, and I think this is a fine example of it. It's rapturous in its affection and its adoration for both nature and the friendship. So really, really, really beautiful job, Bob. Thank you so much for writing to this. And we are sorry that we missed it for this long. The classrooms got twisted around, or it would have been read sooner. Really, really beautiful. My favorite line, well, I like the way he carried that over into the last couplet. But other than that, I think my favorite line would be whatever months of storm and gale, because I love the word gale, Gale. I think that is a magnificent word to be used in writing. So I like that he used that. Beautiful poem. Thank you, Bob. And next, we have a spring sonnet by the nature underscore of Ash. And it's another one of those. A heated fur. I don't know. Sorry. I've got to find me a Welsh person to educate me on these words. That's what I need to do. I'm going to look up a poet and say, please help. That would be smart, Angelique. So next we have Spring Sonnet. Drinking rain for the revival, straining with strength for survival. Behold fluorescence of flower, opening with all its grandeur. Warmer now are spring's pleasant days, overhead longer the sun stays. The zenith of life we embrace, no hint of winter's frozen trace. Though not for all does it begin, way up and down meridian. As their days turn face to cooling, heaters soon will need refueling. Come back, we cry when it's too hot. How quick the spring will be forgot. Alyssa, hey! How are you doing? And this is beautiful. I love the way you used meridian. I love the way that you kind of mock us for being, oh, it's too hot. No, it's too cold. No, it's too hot. No, it's too cold. I like the use of fluorescence with the flower. Behold fluorescence of flower. And then you use zenith. I like that. I love that word, zenith or zenith, depending upon how someone pronounces it. And describing that trip of us around the sun. So really, really gorgeously done. Ash, thank you so much. And next, we have an impromptu poem by Nashabala. Oh, I'm glad you're doing good. I am. Thank you, Alyssa. It's very nice to see you here, and we are doing good. We've already given out 3 words, and Alyssa, you want to go get them. It's not a lot to watch. You want to get them so that when you get the 4th, you can write, because today's prompt has words you will like, words you will like. And if you go for the golden ticket, it's writing a love letter to your favorite monster. The golden ticket is using the words in a love letter to your favorite monster. And with 30 lines, and the normal is 16 lines of however you want to write it, but the words are just awesome words. And so now we have Nashabala, the beautiful owl, Leslie, and she wrote this impromptu poem in the chit chat. And she says, the broken are the words. The broken are the mountains. The broken are the rivers. The broken are the dreams. The broken are the hearts. The broken are the spirits. The broken are the poets who piece it all together. 'Tis all that matters. Can't you see? And I love that anaphora beginning, because I love me some repetition like that. So I love this, the broken. All of this is broken, but we can weave it back together. We can put it back together. And I think of nature as poetry. I mean, nature is probably the most poetic thing on the planet, both figuratively and literally. So I love that she brings in all that. And then she uses the words, but isn't it, we think of these words for all of these different aspects of nature, trying to find that perfect word to describe something. But nature, the textures, the sensory abundance, excuse me, that is nature. It's really almost impossible, at least in my thoughts, in my mind, to find words that are sufficient, like to find a word that is sufficient for the bark of a tree. Ash and I were talking about that. A word that is sufficient for that. A word that is sufficient for rich, loamy soil. a word that is sufficient for that cool, wet kiss of grass blades on your feet as you walk across a dew-kissed cool morning, or the stick of rose thorns. And different thorns have different pricks as you're tending a garden. There's so much with nature, the scuttle of the leaves. I know they create words for it, but those words always seem to lack an essence of what that actually is. I mean, if the clouds are floating across the sky, there's so many different types. And when they're just right, and they're so billowy and so cottony and so translucent that you see layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, just tumbling over each other, you cannot help but stare up in awe and think, how? How do I even begin to describe this? Um, Ash says, that is the best of the best conversation. It was a very good conversation. Yes, we had a really good conversation on that one. Um, just, So I love that Leslie is bringing in the words for all of them, and then, but also bringing in all of these things are broken. And they are. We're all broken. The planet's broken. Our peace is broken. There's something very out of sync right now. But saying we can bring it back together. Come on, let's try. Let's just try. And I like that perspective, because if we fall into the perspective of it won't matter, what can one person do? Well, then nothing will ever happen, because everybody will think, yeah, there's nothing I can do. But all it takes is one person going, no, I will make a difference. It might just be a small difference. It might just be in an immediate circle. It might just be a teeny tiny difference. But if everybody, every single person made a teeny tiny difference, those teeny tiny differences add up. And that's kind of what matters. It's the tiny shifts. So often it's the tiny shifts. More often it's the tiny shifts that have a much, much larger impact than the ginormous shifts, because the tiny shifts last longer. The big shifts are sudden and forced, whereas the tiny shifts become ingrained and become a part of us. And so just by spreading a little bit more kindness, showing just a tiny bit more compassion, taking a moment and picking up a single piece of trash that's on the ground, taking a moment and putting some water out for some wildlife, taking a moment and just doing this small thing, this small little thing that doesn't seem to take but a minute of your time, if even that. Those small little things, just smiling when you meet someone, just smiling. Those small little things make a huge difference. Looking a person in the eye when you say, how are you doing? And meaning it, really meaning it, meeting their eyes and hearing what they say when they say back. That one little conversation can completely change a person's life. And that's all it takes, going into a nursing room and sitting down and spending 30 minutes with a stranger that you have never met and maybe you'll never see again. But when you're there, engaging fully, going to an animal shelter and taking a moment with those animals and loving on them, showing them kindness, bringing a bag of food. Just these little bitty things, going to the homeless and bringing some socks, giving some food, all these little things. You don't think anything about it. You don't need credit for it. None of that needs credit, but going to a neighbor, anything, just showing up, all these little things matter. And they might seem insignificant to the person doing them. The person might completely forget about it because it becomes routine. But to those recipients, it is everything. And even if it doesn't seem like everything in that moment, if you are someone who has so many bad days and so often the person comes in and just smiles, how are you? Subconsciously, your brain looks forward to that smile. Subconsciously, your brain looks forward to hearing someone show concern and just say, hi, how are you? It is nice to see you today. Those little things matter. Alyssa says literally any small kindness. Yes, anything at all. Leslie says wake up with the necessity to make a difference. Yes, when we wake up with that necessity to make a difference, when we wake up with that conscious effort, no matter how bad our day's going, that conscious effort to see something brighter and feel something better, even though we know for a fact hell is raining in places, and it may be raining in our own lives, but to find just something positive to help keep our spirits up and lift us up and lift others up makes a dramatic difference, and it is world changing. It changes everything. And when we look at nature and we see nature as part of us, and we see nature as life, we see trees as living, breathing, thinking things, it changes our perspective and how we see our surroundings. And when we change our perspective and how we see our surroundings, the entire world changes. And that's what it takes to make all these differences, is seeing life out there, seeing people out there, seeing love out there, seeing things that exist with emotion and care. And when we take the blinders off and we quit living in a despondent way, and we quit allowing ourselves to be blind to the pain of others, and allowing ourselves to not understand the urgency and need that exists around us, then we're able to change the world. And the world can change. It changes all the time. I say we be a force to change it for the better, even if that better's a little bit at a time. That's important. Leslie says, wake up and send kind messages to let someone know they matter. Yes. And Ash says, yes, Leslie, I feel that need just to reach out somewhere. And you feel better. People don't talk about that, but by doing it. So you're not just being kind to someone else. You're not just lifting someone else's spirit. You are lifting your own. Being kind, showing compassion, showing joy, smiling, all of these things help lift your own spirit too. And when we do that, and when we engage with that, and when we just try to soak that in and drink that in and look outside, and when we're looking outside, even if it is all gray and rubble horrible around us, if we just find something to go, well, that's nice. I can focus on this for a second. If we just live in that moment for just a moment, it really lifts our spirits up. Leslie says, I recently wrote a small poem about my wondering if flowers have hearts. Do they feel when we cut them? See, I can't, I refuse to accept cut flowers anymore, because flowers do have pain. Flowers have pain receptors. Flowers think and talk to each other. They talk through chemicals. Their roots vibrate. They talk with color. They talk with smells. We're not privy to them necessarily, because they're outside our spectrum of observance, but they're recorded. The sounds are recorded. The light on different spectrums can be seen. So when you start to change how you perceive the world like that, where you see flowers have feelings, trees communicate, trees will protect each other, animals communicate, and insects all interact with trees and with flowers to feed each other, to protect one another. The insect world can be quite brutal, and the vegetation world is a chemical biological warfare disaster, but they do feel, and they talk, and they're communicating, and it's a whole universe that is right before our eyes, that is right there, that we impact day after day, and we refuse to see it. I mean, like moths, we tell our stories about moths being mesmerized and loving the light at night. No, the light pollution kills millions and millions of moths. It kills birds. It is horrific for them because there's certain insects that literally the way they know how to get where they're going is due to how they see the sun moving in the sky. They are guided by that light. So when we put these lights out there and we see the moths circling the light, they're confused. They're confused. Wow. That changes everything, doesn't it? I mean, that makes you not want to have your lights on at night. The lights that are out, all the light pollution we have at night literally messes up their migration paths. I mean, there is so much what the sound pollution does in the ocean. If we would just stop and pause and learn and educate and see the world as it is versus in this disconnected, we're a separate part of it way that we have come to see it, then we will change how we live because our compassion and our hearts will grow. But for that to happen, we have to have the conversations and educate our older selves and our young and everyone. Tommy says it confuses baby turtles, the lights. Almost all the light pollution, light confuses so much, so much. The sound confuses so much in the ocean. And that's not even talking about the trash pollution, right? We have such dramatic impacts on our environment that we can make small changes. We see it as inconvenience to have the lights out, but do we really need lights lining all of our driveways and everywhere and solar lights above? No, not really. It's bad for nature. And we are part of nature, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. But if we would acknowledge it and we'd start making those better choices and show compassion, man, the difference this place would be, the difference the world would be if we just saw everything as having emotion and feeling and caring and feeling pain and communicating and having a life, having families. Maybe, just maybe, we would become better. I don't know. Sorry, went off on a tangent there. I'm very passionate about nature. And I'm very passionate about compassion and love and trying to seek to understand. We mess up. We're going to mess up. I mess up. Everybody messes up. But it's acknowledging you mess up and then trying to take a step to correct it. Trying to just do something different, do something a little different. And it's a beautiful thing when we do. And we're giving out the final secret word today, because if you stayed for my ramble, you deserve it. So the fourth word for tonight, the fourth final word for tonight's secret prompts that you must write a 16-line poem to on any subject matter for it to just count. If you're in the society, it'll count for your one word. That is it. If you are not in the society, it will get you into the society. A 16-line poem, 3 words per minimum line, using that word and the 3 others, which you can get by watching the videos. And if you are watching the videos and you need the code word for this word, the code word for this word is apple. Apple. You write VJHD.writer, DM them on Instagram with your 4 words, and they will send you the 4 words. And then you have until 3 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow to get us your 16-line poem, which we will be reading tomorrow night. If you want to get a golden ticket, and a golden ticket gives you the right to either get a free set of prompts if you miss a live, or you can keep them and get a platinum ticket. When you get a platinum ticket, you can invite a friend in, or you can keep all of those. And if you get 20, which I'm not going to say what you get, but if you get 20, you get something really, really special. And to do that, you must write a 30-line poem, prose, or story, love letter to your favorite monster. Overlord says, I'm glad to send you my despondent onomatopoeia poem. Couldn't stop myself. We're not accepting late entries anymore, Ash, but thank you. Ash says it doesn't matter. Okay. Well, I will have a look at that. And yes, if y'all are in the society, yes, what can be a fictional or real monster? It's your choice. So if you want to write to, well, I gave an example, Frankenstein. If you want to write to Frankenstein, if you want to write to Hyde, if you want to write to one of the monsters in Monsters, Inc., any monster you want. If you want to write to a real monster, you can do that. If you want to write to the Loch Ness Monster, you can do that. It's a love letter to a monster. And we have a few more pieces to read. So let me find them, because they are in a different group. Where did I put them? That is a good question. Ah, there they are. And so for the first one, and I'm not singing this either, we'll have to wait for, can they make up the monster? Are you making, wait a minute. Are you asking if she means you can make one up? Can they make up a monster? Ooh. I suppose so. I suppose they could. What do you think, Overlord? And Melissa says, so fun. Yes, I think so. I hope somebody writes about the Thing or the Fly or something like that. That would be funny. Or a gremlin. That would be good. Oh, yes. Somebody write about a gremlin. Somebody write about a gremlin. That would be fun. But now we have a song. And this is by the nature of Ash. I am not singing this because I will mess it up. But this is to the tune of the Cranberries, the Zombie. Cranberries, the Zombie. And it is called Audio Translations. Audio Translations. And I just even reading it, I want to sing it, so this is going to be hard. Sometimes my words come slowly. Hope my pen ain't taken. 'Cause the silence brings heart's violence, body now forsaken. But you see, it's not me. My brain used to be king in this head. There is glitching, causing blanks, losing songs, and my lungs think they're dead, but they're lying. Translations, audio processing, control rhyming, control timing, audio processing. Oh. Yeah, you got to sing it. Confusing you. When too much blood, brain's taking, thoughts go out the window. In tissue's death, brain is drowning, stops communication. With the lyrical ring, it starts liquefying. Then your head, it's not working. Causing blanks, losing songs in your lungs. Think they're dead, but they're lying. translations, audio processing, control rhyming, control timing, audio processing. Oh no, no, oh no, no. Then you want to die. We're going to get Harry to sing that. We are going to get Harry to sing. Well, he has sung it. We're going to get Harry to sing that live. And then that will be amazing. But I have wailed this on my own. I'm not doing it on camera because I'm not that brave. But I have wailed it to my own, to the music in the background, just to see how well it goes. And I strongly encourage, if you like the song Zombie by the Cranberries, I deeply, deeply encourage you to play this and sing and wail along with it. And if you like postmodern jukebox, I encourage you then to play it with that and sing it with that too. I do. I really, really do. Leslie says, it is that I have always loved Cerberus from Greek mythology, the Hound of Hades. Oh, yes, please, please write a love letter to Cerberus. Yes, 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 yes. Please, please, please. That would be awesome. Ash says, I loved his video. That was so sweet of him to make for me. His video was awesome. Yes, it was great. It was really great. And then the next one that we have that we missed is by Angela C. Angela _C _4 chance. Angela _C _4 chance. And we missed this one. And it is called Beautifully Undone. And these are pieces that were wrote to past prompts that come in like right as we were going live or something, and we missed it. And this is why we're not taking late when we're having a hard cutoff. Part of why we're having a hard cutoff now, because we end up missing things. So Angela C. for change. Sorry, yes, for change. Beautifully undone. Convulsing, the glass shudders in its place, creating a travesty of Tupac's hymn. Most mornings, I'd appreciate the bass. I, lying supine, recovering from coffee to the brim. Alluring G, the freedom of spring air, sheer. The curtains allow the sun to bleed in. My mind ticks off the day's chores, including a fair. Mind tricks through diaphanous warming skin. Soon, the calm of my morning will end. She's invited me out to work with the kids. Very little, I'm realizing, I won't do for my friend. Time to shoot out of bed, opening eyelids. Really, she's too good. Almost ethereal, forcing, but not really, me to work the kids fast. How she stretches my comfort zones is unreal. I know the time I have will likely be the best. And of course it was. Carving pumpkins, painting faces of the sweet handicapped young. More and more I'm falling for these somethings. She stole in my heart as she beautifully comes undone. That's gorgeous. That is a love letter. So, yay, Angela. And I just love how she opens it. I mean, doesn't that wake us up? That wakes me up so often, the bass. Ooh, I hate the bass on a window. I don't like bass on windows. It messes the sound up. Ash says, and that's how you get the babes. Get them to volunteer with kids. Is that how you do it? Is that how you get the guys too, Ash? Volunteer with kids. But this was gorgeous. And I can see how that would work. I can see how that would work. And I just like how she admits, I didn't want to do it, but now that I am doing, I enjoy it. And that's kind of what we were talking about. You may think you don't want to do that sort of thing, but once you do, and you see the joy and you feel that energy coming back at you, you realize that you're the one getting the gift. You're the one receiving something incredible. And it is a beautiful, amazing experience to behold. Ash says she did it and loved it. Woo! That is awesome. That is awesome. So this is gorgeous, Angela. I really like it. And Ash, you were prolific. You went on the form train. So next we have The Nature of Ash and a Saturday sonnet for Socrates. The nature _ of Ash. Lift in philosophical dance, examination to advance, with nexus of resonation, defiance of abdication. Trapped ego is destined to find meaningful endurance of mind. Inanimate objects affirm empty giving ovum from sperm. Wisdom sharing with brethren while critiquing Athenian. Capitalist against his stand, serve poison hemlock, cup in hand. Leave taken now, bright shining star, rain from the past to where we are. Ash, you retracted a message? That sounds so... Message retracted. What did I miss? I love the beauty of this, the rhythm of it, the wordplay. I really like how, I like the way that you started out the beginning. You got those in rhymes of dance and advance, but then you start the first words with examination and defiance, and having that, the mouth feel of that kind of mingling together is quite nice. You're laughing at the retracted or laughing that I'm enjoying the mouth feel of it. And then I just enjoy, you know, you're writing a sonnet for Socrates. I was surprised to see so much of my stuff read. I hadn't written in a long time. Yeah, this is from a couple of weeks ago, whenever there was that mad rush of forms that went up, and then we were supposed to read them like the next week, but then everything kind of went weird with the classroom stuff, and so we got backlogged on all of that. And so we're kind of trying, you guys wrote these things, so y'all deserve to have them read. So we're trying to get them out there instead of wait, because they'll end up getting forgotten with so much stuff coming up. And this gives us a chance to read them and then get them put up on the page for everyone who did it. That's why we're doing it. But it's just gorgeous. The topic of it, the sonnet itself, and you didn't use easy words. And I love that you rhymed brethren and Athenian. Yeah, that made me smile. So wonderful job. And we have 2 more poems. And the next one is also by you, Ash. Oh, no, we don't. I already read this one. So we have 1 more poem for tonight. And then we're done for tonight. Y'all get extra time to work on your secret prompts. So we have Hob the Poet. And he wrote this for an anaphora, Hob the Poet. And Ash says, thank you, Mike, for helping on the sonnet, I think. And so this is Hob the Poet, and it is an anaphylactic shock. Anaphylactic shock. Batten down the hatches, there are cats up on the roof. Batten down the hatches, react, don't be aloof. Batten down the hatches before they catch us out. Batten down the hatches, sharp claws from paws do sprout. Batten down the hatches, they're coming for us all. Batten down the hatches, there's scratches on the wall. Batten down the hatches, there's scratches at the door. Batten down the hatches, start running, look, there's more. Batten down the hatches, all those kitties want us dead. Batten down the hatches, kitties want their poems read. Which is scary that he's saying if you don't read the kitties' poems, they're going to kill you. I think I shouldn't leave my house. I got to ask him what he means by this. Does he mean that all the kitties are coming for us? Or does he mean that all the real kitties out there are taking up poetry and they want their poems read too? That that's what all their scratches are. I'm going to lean towards the latter. That's what I think. That's what I'm going for. But no, I like for his first anaphora, I think this is adorable and cute and it reads really well. And I love anaphora, so I'm really happy with it. But it's also the humor of it and the excitement building of it is very nice for an anaphora. And of course, the pun with anaphylactic shock is good. So I thought that was a funny poem to end the night on, as one of the impromptu type poems. Because even though he has taken a break from social media, he is still writing poetry and sending impromptu things. Ash says, fence post etchings. Yes, it's a brilliant poem. So thank you guys for coming tonight. Thank you, Harry, for letting us read it. Thank you, VJHD, for moderating. And thank you, everybody who wrote to the prompts. We really, 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 really hope that y'all write to this prompt for tomorrow because it's such a great prompt. Those 4 words, y'all saw those words. Those words are luscious and everything. Oh, and all you got to do is write a 16 long line poem or thrill us, get your golden ticket, write a 30-line love letter to your favorite monster. I want to read love letters to monsters so bad. Ash says, oh yeah, he helping me focus, I bet. And Tommy says, thank you, Angelique, you are welcome. So thank you guys. May your paws stay inky and we will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is a time change. Instead of being 3 p.m. Central, it will be at 6 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. GMT, 10 a.m. ACT. So if you're on the East Coast, it's at 7 p.m. If you're on the West Coast, it is at 4 p.m. So time change. Thank you guys. And good night. And this is where my outro plays so that y'all can know I'm leaving. And everybody that's watching the video back will be like, why is she sitting there rambling, talking about nothing? It's so the chat room actually catches up with me. Overlord says, see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central. Yes, Leslie says, thank you, Angelique. You are welcome. Thank you. So here we go. Da 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 boom boom. Y'all know the music. We're leaving. I'm gonna have to like record that so that I can play it. Bye.